Hi there, I'm Will Culp with Rincker Law, and today in the Ask Will video blog series, we'll be talking about what should I know before I talk to an attorney about an order of protection. Now, in Illinois, we have the Domestic Violence Act, which defines an order of protection for any family member or household member who has been abused by another family or household member. We also have the Illinois Stalking and No Contact Order Act. That protects any person from anyone else, a coworker, a classmate, who has abused or is stalking that person. And when you go to talk to an attorney, you're going to want to establish, first of all, what court has jurisdiction over the petition that's going to be filed. Generally, that's controlled by where the parties live. When we're talking about the parties, we're talking about the petitioner or the victim, and we're talking about the respondent, who you might think of as the defendant or the abuser. Now, what is abuse? You might think of physical abuse, which is the reckless use of force, confinement, or restraint of another person. But then there's also harassment, interference with personal liberty, intimidation of dependents, and willful deprivation. Those are things that we're going to talk about in another video. But let's talk now about stalking. Stalking is conduct that would cause a reasonable person to fear for his or her own safety, to fear for the safety of a third person, or to suffer emotional distress. So in an emergency petition for an order of protection or a restraining order, the court waives notice to the respondent or the defendant, and the party will appear before the judge usually on the same day that the petition is filed. Then that order expires after 14 to 21 days, and the court will hold a plenary hearing. That's a hearing that does require notice to the defendant or the respondent, and both parties will appear before the judge and present evidence. Then the judge determines whether it's appropriate to extend that order for up to 2 years. Now, what does that order do? An order of protection or a restraining order will protect the parties from any future violations by making those violations a crime. It will prevent certain conduct by the respondent, or it'll prevent the respondent from coming to the home, school, place of employment, or other places frequented by the victim. It will also, in Illinois, prohibit the possession of firearms or ammunition by suspending the firearm owner's ID card. It may also require the surrender of firearms based on the nature of the threat. So that's our overview of the order of protection process today. It's good to know that after the order expires, the parties may appear before the judge to renew the order. And next week, we'll talk a little bit more about other cases when an order of protection or a restraining order might be appropriate. I'm Will Culp from Rincker Law. Have a good day.